hello and welcome to my channel, or welcome back to my channel. My name is Andy, sometimes Mouse, and I talk about books and book-related things, except today I'm going to talk about crochet stuff. So this is going to be my wrap-up video for basically everything that I remember that I crocheted from January to the beginning of April-ish. I am going to I am going to be going over the book blanket and giving the updates around that as well in this video. So if you came for the book blanket and didn't want to see the rest of my crochet stuff, I will leave timestamps down below to tell you when I start talking about the book blanket, right? But that's not going to come until the very end because unfortunately that is the largest part of this and will take the longest to talk about. So I am going to talk about all of the smaller projects that I have done while in meetings or otherwise busy with work lately. I've had a lot of time to work on smaller projects, and I think that it has allowed me to work on detailing a little bit more and working with smaller crochet hooks and the like, and I've had a lot of fun with that process. So first thing that we have is the bandana that I made. That is basically, I didn't have a bandana that matched my outfit and I really wanted one, so I put that together kind of quickly. It is granny squares, much like the book blanket, and it fits rather well. I don't have any video clips of me wearing it, but I really like it. I've had a lot of fun wearing it, and I think that I'm going to make a few more with different patterns, and if it's something that I think I can consistently make and that I won't get burnt out on, then I plan on making them maybe for the shop. Next up, we have the coasters. You've probably, if you're on TikTok, you've probably seen these before. They are coasters that go into the little flower pot. They are monstera leaves. This project was super easy. I knocked it out in like less than an hour. The longest process was truly the actual pot. The rest of it was really easy, and they came out really cute. I did them in a few different sizes, and I like the way that they turned out. I will be giving them to Bella. I'm not keeping them. I don't have any need for them, but I think that they're a cute concept, and I'm thinking about making some flower, like kind of groovy color, 70s colored flowered coasters for my own home because that matches my own aesthetic a little bit better. Then we have the peony that I made for Bella. I will be making more of these just because I want to try my hand at making crochet bouquets, but this was the first one I'd ever made, and it is a peony flower that is Bella's favorite flower, and it came out really cute. I was really excited about it. I did not have florist wire at the time, so I just kind of put it on pipe cleaner, like craft pipe cleaner, and that could have been done better, definitely, but I like the way it turned out anyway. It's just a little bit floppy, but that's okay. She's the first one I ever made, and you know, that happens. Next up, we have more in the clothing realm here. We have the butterfly top. This also was something that was kind of trending on Crochet Realm and beyond. I think that drop shippers and things like Shein had stolen this pattern and recreated it, and I've seen it 1,000 times, so I decided to make it. No, you won't see any footage of it of me with it on because I just don't feel like I can get away with that on here, but it is very cute and it covers everything, and I think that it would be really fun paired with any kind of like flare bottom jeans or something. And this was a really easy project, so I think that if you want to do something that looks complex and you're not like super positive about your skills as a crochet artist, I think that this is a really good one to go with. Then we have a pink bathing suit top. I made this to match the one I made for my American Girl doll, which you will see later on. That's it. That's all. I've made tops like this before, but you know, I wasn't super great at it when I made the original clothing. It was some of the first clothing that I ever made were bikini tops, and they all were horrible. This one actually not so bad. I think I did a pretty decent job with it. I debated on making it have clasp back or button back or something, but I decided to just have it fitted to my chest size because that just made the most sense to me, because I didn't want to deal with buttoning it and unbuttoning it, and that just leaves room for it to kind of fall apart, you know. Next up, we have this pinkish colored backpack. It's a tiny backpack, and I do need to do some cleanup on it, so it's not 100% done. I was going to make this was basically supposed to be a baby bear backpack, like it was supposed to have a little bear on it, but I didn't ever finish it and I got kind of bored with it. I think that it is a great base for a backpack and that I could do some really great things with it, and I think I'm just going to keep it in the background for like if I end up with some scrap material or some scrap yarn and I want to use it for this, then I can just add some stuff to the backpack as things go on. It's a little bit smaller than a bag for me. If I'm going to carry something small like this, I'll just use one of my actual handbags. But it's quite cute, and I think that it sits really cute. In the footage of me wearing it, it's not great footage because I'm in a sweatshirt, so it doesn't really show, but I think for like a summer outfit with like overalls or something, I think that it would lay really cute, especially because the straps are stretchy, and I've never done that before with straps, and I think that came out really cute. Then we have my mushroom bag. This is another granny square project. I had a lot of fun making this, and I've seen this pattern before. I literally took it to the library and saw someone else with the same bag, but obviously not the same colors because I just used scrap yarn. So this is another one of those things that I'm thinking about just making in the background when I am not working on other projects, just the pieces of, and then putting it together when I'm not working on other projects, just in the background when I'm bored. And I think that as time goes on and I have more scrap yarn or whatever, I can just keep doing this in different color schemes and probably put it in the shop. I had a lot of fun putting it together. I just want to figure out a really good way to line it so stuff doesn't fall through the holes, but I'm still working on that process and it still needs to be cleaned up, but I took it to the library and it held itself up, so that was kind of cool. I am glad that it did its job. I probably won't keep this one for myself. I am thinking about making some other tote bags with other patterns, granny square patterns, now that I have the general idea of this right. I think then I'll make myself a more pink based bag because that fits my general vibe a little bit better, or a white bag instead of this tan color, you know. And then we have the things I made for American Girl dolls. So first I want to talk about the sweater. I made it to match a sweater that I own because the shorter curly haired American Girl doll is my Just Like Me American Girl doll. And I wanted us to have matching clothes. So I really like the green sweater that I wear all the time and I wanted her to have one as well. I used too bulky of a yarn, and I think that I will next time use a smaller yarn and make this over again. Not necessarily a smaller yarn, but a more soft and smooth acrylic yarn, like the Caron Simply Soft yarn, rather than whatever yarn it was I used. I think that I will probably do that instead because I think that it will work better inherently, but we will see. And then we have the bathing suit that I made, which I think came out super cute. I'm really obsessed with it. I do have a doll form that I keep at my desk or whatever for clothes and stuff that I might make for the dolls, and I had a lot of fun making this, and I think that I might make more American Girl doll clothes as things, you know, progress when I get bored, or I think that they need a different outfit or whatever, because I have scrap yarn, I have the right hooks, I may as well just make it, right? And that's it for all of the smaller projects. We are going to talk about the book blanket now. So I did go ahead and finish April. I know as of filming this, it is April the 11th. By the time this comes out, it will just be like the third week in April. I had a lot of fun going ahead and doing that because I know me and I love my TBRs. I'm obsessed with TBRs. I get very upset when I can't complete a TBR, or when I like suddenly can't get access to a book I used to have access to, whatever. I live and die by my TBRs. They make me feel organized and safe. So this is why I was able to go ahead and finish April, and now I have these two large panels. And I did have to last month basically resize January and February. So what happened was that I didn't block anything, and I didn't know the size of any of the blocks that I was doing. I now have literal blocking boards, and I have been using those, and that has helped me confirm that the sizes are what I need them to be, which for the smaller blocks they are 5 by 5, and for the larger blocks they're 6 by 6. And you wouldn't think that that does like a decent size difference, but it really does. For the borders, those are 1 month. The 6 by 6 bigger ones are another month, and I think that doing that process also allows for some wiggle room around my reading. So I can, you know, alternate between like, okay, this month I need to read a bunch, this month I don't. I can go from there. I also realized that I should have doubled up on the sides there, and I didn't, but I think I will double up on the when I add the next panels. That's the other thing. I am not planning on attaching the next panels to these panels until like the very end, or I can confirm that it is not going to be too heavy for my hanging situation here, because that is complicated. I will say for the borders, I did go in and use my Susan Bates 4mm, which is this hook. And then for the 6x6 blocks, I would alternate-ish, depending on the pattern, between a 3.25mm and a 3.5mm, which are these for size. And then for the smaller blocks, the 5x5 ones, I would use my 3.5 and 2.75, again, dependent on the pattern, because some patterns are just inherently larger for those projects. Each one is bordered in a different color, which is how I indicate what month it is, and that's really helpful. I also think that it's really interesting that you can see in the first 2 months I read a lot of fantasy and horror, and then in the next 2 months I read a lot of thrillers and horror. And I think that it's kind of cool because I picked such complementary colors, but they are different colors, that it looks neat to see the variation there. I do appreciate that I've always read horror, so I kind of knew that the pink was going to be kind of consistent. So I'm glad that there is at least like that consistent tone in both panels, and I think that it'll be interesting to see in the next 4 months what I end up doing. But yeah, I've had a lot of fun with this project, and I love that this book blanket is requiring a lot more planning on my part and a lot more time on my part, but also I can kind of passively do it because I can do individual granny squares. I don't have to put anything together, and I can, you know, do those granny squares anywhere in the house or while I'm traveling or whatever. I don't have to bring the whole book blanket with me, which was kind of the problem with the other one. It eventually was getting so large and so heavy that I could only update it in my general crocheting space, and that was really frustrating. I felt tethered to it, versus what I currently have, I can, you know, get up, move around, do whatever, take just the skein of that yarn with me. I've also learned a lot about, you know, frogging things and counting and different crochet styles. My pets are playing with each other, sorry. And different crochet styles, and I've just had a lot of fun with this, and I'm really glad that I decided to do it this way. I think that this is probably how I'm gonna do it next year too, but obviously we'll see. Maybe I'll do smaller blocks or puff squares or hexagonal squares, I don't know, we'll see. But I really like this, and I think, depending on how large it gets, I will be doing it all the way across my wall. And if I can bring a tall person to my home, hang it up higher so that it meets the top of my bookshelves and hangs all the way across this wall, which I don't normally film right here, but I think it would be a great backdrop for filming. I already think that it creates a really fun backdrop all with just the two that you can just kind of see. And I think that it will create a great backdrop for work meetings as well. So I'm either going to do that or put it in the main part of my house. I don't know. How much time did this take? I don't know. I've honestly stopped timing most of my projects. I don't use a lot of counters. I don't use a lot of timing. I don't know anymore. And I think that that's for the best, because I get really frustrated when I think of how much time I've spent on something and it still not be done. Like, it's incredibly frustrating. Sometimes I'll use the counters if it's a project I have to put down, walk away from for a while, or because I ran out of yarn, X, Y, and Z. I don't know. But that's my thoughts on that. I do have a list of how many skeins I've purchased so far, but did I write that down for this video? No. So give me 2 seconds to get my shit together, and then I will tell you how many skeins I've bought so far for this. So I did get it all together. These cost about $3.50 a piece. $3.50 to $4 a piece. It kind of depends on when I go and if they're on sale or not, so I'm not doing that math, but you're more than welcome to. I've bought a total of 7 of the Hot Pink Sparkle skeins, which is the horror skeins. I've bought 7 of the thriller skeins, 4 sci-fi skeins, 5 fantasy skeins, and none for the other skeins, and then I've only bought 3 of the romance skeins. total, which I think is kind of what I started with. I don't think I've needed more of the romance ones. No, I did buy at least one more romance one because for some reason I bought pale pink and then also sparkle pale pink, and I have two sparkle pale. I don't know why I bought two different kinds. I think it was by accident, but they're the same shade. One just has sparkles and the other one doesn't. But I will give the caveat that when I redid the blocks, I was resizing them and a lot of them were just too big. And so when I was taking them apart, I ended up regaining a lot of yarn. So for like fantasy, I have a bunch of fantasy left over. I was like gonna run out of horror, but then I ended up not running out of horror because I used that yarn. So with that caveat, I did end up saving a lot of yarn that way, and that has been helpful. So I haven't needed to go really buy a ton of yarn. I've only made 3 Hobby Lobby trips if you include the initial Hobby Lobby trip last year to get this yarn. So honestly, not too bad. I also have my May TBR kind of written out, so I'm ready to like kind of go ahead and get started on that. But like get started on the granny squares. But that is it. That is my crochet wrap up. I think talking about the book blanket came out way longer than I intended it to. I'm sorry. If you enjoyed this video, let me know in the comments down below. I've never done a crochet wrap up, so if there was some way I could make this better for you or something you would prefer to see, more conversations on like how long things took, although I don't time it anymore, but like tips, tricks, if there's any crochet content you want, I don't know, let me know in the comments down below. I would love to make it. This is kind of a hobby that I've kept up with for a while now. For those of you who are here for book content and also clear your shit, I am working on something. I make no promises, but I am working on something that y'all might think is cool. Again, I make 0 promises about that though. I am gonna go though. I hope you guys had a great day. Don't forget to like and subscribe and share. I post videos every Tuesdays and Thursdays at 10 a.m. Central Standard Time, and I will see you guys later on this week. Don't forget to take your meds, drink your water, and do something today to take care of yourselves. Okay, thanks, bye.